Yo, what's up, everybody? It's that Goblin Guy XY with another video. And today I am going to be looking at the Week US article from today, which is 2/14/2023, where it says Trump's plan for a second term reportedly includes firing squads, hangings, and group executions. Normally, for these Clown World videos, I kind of do the Goblin voice, but I've been doing a lot of videos today, and the Goblin voice is shot for today, so that's out for this one. I'll just do this one in my normal voice, and hopefully that'll be just fine. So, I'm going to dig into this, and it's not a long article, and then I want to take a look at the comments, because the comments for this one should be absolutely golden, because it's going to bring out all the crazies I'm thinking. I haven't looked at it yet, so we will explore this together and go on a journey. As Donald Trump second re-election bid begins to pick up steam in the new year, details about the former president's plan for his return to the White House have begun to emerge, including a new report from Rolling Stone, which I did read, which alleges Trump has begun polling his advisors on whether or not he should bring back firing squads, hangings, and even the guillotine should he win in 2024. According to two sources, I'm pretty sure in the article I read it said three, but imagine that none of them were named. Interesting. The former president has even begun exploring the possibility of group executions, with a third person claiming Trump has expressed interest in a government ad campaign to highlight the administration's lethality and, per Rolling Stone's quote-unquote source, help put the fear of God into violent criminals. A Trump campaign spokesperson denied the former president had plans for an execution ad campaign in a statement to Rolling Stone. Trump's fascination with the Minecrafting penalty has long been on public display, stretching back to his call to execute the Central Park Five young Black and Latino men accused of rape and assault in the late 1980s, all who were later exonerated. I'm not familiar with that particular story. I'll have to check that out later. As Rolling Stone had previously reported, Trump, I guess Rolling Stone is the bastion of reporting now in 2023. That's interesting. Trump had ended his first term by executing more than 4 times as many convicted persons in his final 6 months in office as the federal government had done in total over the prior half-century. He also signed an executive order in those last 2 weeks in office that expanded the federal government's ability to conduct hanging and firing squads as methods of Minecrafting. And during his campaign launch in November of last year, he made a special point to highlight a call to Minecraft anyone who sells drugs or gets caught in selling drugs if given a second term. Okay, so yeah, I get it. But okay, some of these things, like, I'm not necessarily saying that these people should all be Minecrafted, but you can see what's going on with crime the past 2 years, and you can make your own determinations on what that's all about and why it's all about. But I think we all know at this point, Trump's long-standing embrace of state-sanctioned Minecrafting notwithstanding, this latest report has earned harsh rebukes from some, of course, but there's no actual people coming forward and saying I'm the source, and this always seems to be the case with these kind of articles. Oliver Willis, who called it the kind of fascist manure Republican primary voters love, citing a 2016 campaign event in which Trump enthusiastically lauded the disproved myth that U.S. General John Pershing summarily executed dozens of Muslim prisoners in the Philippines with ammunition dipped in pig's blood. Semaphore Washington Bureau Chief Benji Sarwin Riley noted that now Trump was moderating his stance ahead of 2024 before he just favored Minecrafting while defiling the bodies. So I highly doubt that Trump is actively wanting to Minecraft people. On the other hand, you know, you have rampant crime, violent crime going on in this country. Something needs to be done about it. Something needs to be done about our border. It's basically just a free for all, and I think the free for all is done intentionally so that the normies will be like, "Oh, government, save me, help me, save me from all the problems that the government itself created. Help me." So, you know, it is what it is. Let's check out these comments. Like I said, these should be golden. Get all the crazies in here. PH says reportedly means the story is fake. Get a grip, people. Well, surprisingly, that's the top comment, and that is actually true. There's nobody coming up and saying I was there, I heard him say it. It's all supposition. And people on one side of the people on both sides of the political spectrum fall for a lot of bullshit. I mean, the Republican side seems to get conned into grifters that are just former Democrats who are pretending to be Republican or conservative or whatever, and they just like fall all over themselves, especially if it's a female. And the Democrats will just, you know, they fall for every fake news story as long as they see it on their mind control rectangle in the living room or the mind control handheld device, and it comes from one of their quote unquote credible mainstream media sources. They just believe anything without question. Russian collusion, fake story. But Hunter Biden laptop with actual evidence. Oh, we can't believe that because the MSM says, you know, we can't believe that. So we have to do what our overlords and masters tell us to do. The dossier, fake. You can go down the line. Lots of stories about Trump over the past 6 years, completely false, with nothing to back them up. But they're just, you know, the lies are just repeated enough times to make it so, basically. And I'm no gigantic fan of Trump at this point. But I mean, anyone can see that things were considerably better prior to COVID, and then, you know, well, we can't even get into the timing of various things. When a certain candidate had a 93% chance of getting reelected, and then something magical happened. Anyway, getting back to these comments, we've got who cares? We all know he's never going to be reelected. That's probably true. I don't think he can be reelected again. This is true. This isn't the behavior of a U.S. president. It's not true. So he needs to be in prison. For what? They've been after him for 6 years, and they haven't been able to pin anything on him. If they were able to pin anything on him, he would have been in prison long ago. He may be evil, but I don't think he's so evil to that degree. I don't think he's evil. I think he had no clue what he was getting into and how corrupt the government was when he got into it. I mean, because if he did have any idea, he would have fired everyone and started over again. I mean, basically, you had the government alphabet agencies and the military-industrial complex actively working against a sitting president of the United States for 4 years, and that continues. Not to Biden. They're still after Trump. Horrible journalism, fake news, don't be a sheep. I pretty much agree with that. Trump will never infest the White House again. See, these people are they're there's something deep seated wrong. They got issues. I hope they're taking their meds. Trump is a murdering scum. Yeah. Okay, sure. Whatever you say. This is a lie. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Here's a good comment. Democrats vote the way they do because they lack the information regarding the truth and reason. I agree with that. Although, like I said, Republicans, a lot of times the politicians are cowards or they're frauds, and the normie Republicans love to get sucked into believing that, like I said before, that their talking heads are not just as bad as the ones on the other side, because the talking I think most of the talking heads on the Republican side are just controlled opposition, and they're just there to be a venting release for so people can like vent their frustrations while they're watching Tucker or uh, oh, it's the other one's escaping me, Laura Ingraham or Hannity. Like I said, pressure, because even when those ones on Fox News get, and I haven't watched Fox News in years, but I have watched clips on YouTube. But even when any of those ones get too out of control, they get threatened to be taken off the air, have their sponsorship removed. So, they can't, like I said, controlled opposition. Media's out of control writing this garbage. Actually, I'm kind of shocked. Most of the comments on here are calling out the obvious, that there's no sources, and so it's probably a garbage story. Trump wants death penalty for drug dealers. A lot of countries do have death penalty for drug dealers, and guess what? There's no drug problems in those countries, or very little. So yeah. Okay. The whole thing with Trump being tied, like if you believe that Trump is tied to Putin at this point, you got serious issues. Not the least of which you're living in a fantasy world. And like I said, I'm no fan. I think Trump made a lot of blunders. This guy says it should have been Minecrafting squads, ropings, and Minecrafting all along. uh, there you can make a solid argument there. Some people do need that. Oh, I'm surprised. This is okay. I agree 100% with this. Here's a guy that says we should bring public canings here to the USA for light crimes like drugs. See, I love the idea of canings. Which is basically like if you do crimes, you're, instead of like clogging up the jail system, you're basically tied to a pole and whipped. But you can't do that in the United States because, like, even if I was a criminal, I would prefer to take the caning than to rot in jail. And if you get caned, you're not gonna, if you get caned often enough, like you're not gonna keep doing the crimes, and that's been shown, that's been proven. Like that's a very good deterrent. Like you're not gonna die from it, but it's not a pleasant experience. And like I think that would be great, but like you can't do it because I'm sure that the white supreme pizzas could be caned and no one would have a problem with it, but any other group, it would be, what it would be. So you can't do it in the United States. You can only do that in a society that's like an Asian society or something like that, that's like mostly homogeneous, and because then you can't cry the racisms and stuff like that. I'm going to leave it at that one. I think you know where I'm coming from on this, so we'll wrap this up, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, take care now.